I am very old-fashioned when it comes to my browsing habits. I even barely use bookmarks. I always close everything after I open it. I do use dark mode on some websites, but the Wikipedia I'm not bothered by bright mode at all. I kind of like it. I just have very few websites that I visit, Ian Blue. Like I visit Reddit, Team Liquid, nu.nl for some news, livescore.com. I can type it in, Wikipedia. What would I say are the chances of a 1-1 draw? I don't think it's very likely. I think that Yona is an absolute animal. But obviously there is ping involved, and Ryung is a smart player, and maybe they fed him a couple builds. It's always possible that Ryung surprises us with something cheeky and makes it an uncomfortable and difficult scenario, but I am full of confidence that Yona can put us in a really, really good position here. On Monday you should see like even when it comes to browsing on my phone, I basically, whenever I open something, I always close it. Like it's always empty. If I ever take a look at Vicky's phone, she's got like 27 pages open. Like in my mind, you cannot do that because your phone is going to crash and it will never work again. And then she's always like, it's fine, let me have it. I close everything. You're gonna get a smartphone until 2017. I was a little late to the smartphones. I think the very first one I ever got was an iPhone 4S. Up to that point, I was stubborn and I was like, I don't need this. I like my old-fashioned phone. But then Sasa back then, I think he won a phone or something, but he had to pick it up in a physical store in California. He wasn't living there. He said, you can just go ahead and pick it up. You can use it. And if you like it, just send me some money. So I was like, all right. I picked up his phone. I started using it. I was like, I'm not sure if I like this. And then after like 2 weeks, I was like, hey, this smartphone is pretty sick. This iPhone 4S is cooking, baby. Alrighty, guys. It is time for our second best of two. In the top left side, representing Vitality, it is Ryung. And in the top right side, we're looking at the main base of the man who got an unfortunate draw here, as he has to start things off on Ghost River. It is Yona. You guys were asking me, or Serral, of course. You guys were asking me if it's likely that Ryung wins the map here. This is probably the best scenario for him. You start off on Ghost River, US West. And if you then lose it, you can still pick whatever map you want as second. Yona's raising his eyebrows a lot at the moment. I don't know, something is bothering him, maybe bright sun. He's doing it a little bit more than usual. What I always love about watching Serral's webcam is that Serral always looks a little bit like uninterested and sometimes even bored. And we know that that's absolutely not the case because he's always focused. I just feel like he's going over so many scenarios in his own head and then he's like, yes, no. Having a little conversation with himself. GG's, by the way, matey. I think you played very well. I'm proud of you. Looking good. You're looking like a man who's gearing up for the World Championship. Reaper fast expand coming out of Ryung. Yes, Serral has a Zergling speed on the way. So he's not going to get mega creative on us here. Try to go for some sort of a gasless roach opening and stay on two bases for a while. Somewhat of a standard start coming out of Serral. I think even in game 2 you definitely played well. I think it's a smart idea, good build. Just he also, I think, made the correct read very quickly and a strong push. These are the kind of games you can learn from. I mean, in the end, you're playing a best of one there on Ghost River against the best Terran player of all time. Don't think we need to beat ourselves up too much. Serral's firing up a lot of Zerglings here, guys. The Zergling speed is about to finish up, and that is a few more links than I'm used to seeing coming out of a man like Yona. Might just be for safety. Maybe he is feeling very confident. That as long as he doesn't take any damage from Ryung, it's going to be okay. But I think he's going to sneak them to the other side of the map, and he's going to wait until the Hellions leave. Does not want to show them to that Reaper. Good job there, dancing around the Reaper vision. Yona has done such a good job, guys, in keeping Ryung at the dock, and now we have these links showing up right when Ryung didn't expect it. Ryung races the depot immediately. That's nice and all, but that also means that these two Hellions can't really participate in the fight, and just like that, it is Serral who strikes first. Done such a masterful job in keeping Ryung in the dark and not revealing the fact that he made all these links. It is absolutely Yona who draws first blood here. 8 SCVs, and most of the Zerglings still alive as well. Yeah, exactly. Awesome. The great Yona Sutala will always find a way, even if the maps are not that Zerg friendly or the patch is not Zerg friendly. Great execution there, very well done. It is Joe over. It still goes River. Terrans can absolutely turtle for a little while here. Serral is going to sneak an Overlord into the main base. I think we're going to see that starport with the spinning tech lab. We're going to see the tech lab on the barracks as well. Is he trying to get a wraparound on these 4 Hellions while distracting his opponent with the OV? Does not seem to be the case. Ryung definitely cleaning things up after losing those SCVs early. Not making any future errors. Did not panic and had the feeling, okay, now I need to send my units to the other side of the map immediately, because then he would take even more damage. And then I would agree that the game is over. These 2 Banshees are going to show up a little bit before that Overseer is ready. So that's actually very nice for Ryung. He's going to get a bunch of shots off. Can Serral save his queen? And nope. -1 queen. I guess that's acceptable. So we're going up to 4 bases on the right side of the map. Obviously the only spot he could really take a 4th base. Taking it in the center is just a little too hard. Creep is too far away. We have snuck out a very decent amount of roaches. And Serral drops a quick infestation pit too. It's starting to look like we are going to go for a very fast hive. To at least get some Vipers out. The hidden base on the bottom left. Or that center base that he was mining off. Was that against Oliveira that he was mining off that center base for a while? That was quite something. No, I think Saros is going to keep the bases on his side of the map for a little while. And obviously make sure that he's got a good read on what Ryung is planning. Ryung is not really doing anything wild yet. Just dropping another command center, playing pure marine tank. I think this does favor Serral. Serral had a great start, got himself economically ahead. And where normally it is so hard to get away with stuff like a quick hive and 4 bases on a map like Ghost River. Because of our great start, we are going to get away with everything. We have transitioned into Roaches, Ravagers, Bailing Speed is on the way. I think it looks very good for Serral. Was it against Cure on this map? I thought it was Oliveira. Is that when I was casting with Lambo? I feel like there was a game that I was casting with Lambo on Ghost River, where Serral did indeed take the center base on the left side of the map. So yeah, maybe it is. Maybe it was against Cure, because Lambo reached out to me to cast those games together. You are correct. Serral pokes with the Roaches and the Ravagers, just to kind of figure out where all those tanks are. Does not really lose too many units. We have got our first 3 Vipers on the way. Even Queens are making their way to the other side of the map. A lot of upgrades finishing up, +1 melee. We've just fired up +2 carapace. Adrenal glands is on the way as well. I think what Serral is really just looking for here, guys, is get some energy on these Vipers. And the moment we have energy on these Vipers, We can start abducting the tanks or looking for blinding clouds. And it's going to be very difficult for the Ryung to get good trades. It's not really an answer. He does not have Vikings to keep Vipers at bay. Obviously does not have a Ghost Academy yet. Banshees are going to get a cancel on that center base, as Serral technically shows up at a very good moment here around the 4th base of Ryung. But Ryung did a good job in making sure that his army was nearby. We are just counting down the seconds for the Vipers of Serral to make it to the other side of the map, and that is where I think the Great Zerg Party will start. And we should be able to find some really good fights, maybe like a Blinding Cloud with a couple Banelings connecting. And obviously we've got the Ultralisk Cavern finishing up, so we can start going for Kindness Plating. And this is probably the first wave, and if the first wave does not do it, the second wave with Ultras potentially will. Ryung has loaded up 3 Medivacs, guys, full of supply, but that is supply that he desperately needs at home right now. Because even with all that supply, this would be a difficult hold. I think Ryung just did not expect Vipers to show up at 9 minutes and 37 seconds into the game. Serral killed that final tank, he will kill it. He's gonna take care of this triple drop for a split second. I mean, just great initial attack. Ryung is doing a very good job in keeping Serral on 4 bases. It's just the next wave of Serral on the other side of the map is going to have Ultras with Kindness Plating and Vipers obviously with even more energy. Ryung is building a couple Vikings. He probably does not believe that he can get Ghost out right now. So just get some Vikings and try to keep the Vipers at bay. But I don't really see it. I think if Serral hits when the iron is hot, +2 carapace, Kindness Plating, a lot of extra Banes, I think we are fine. He is going to take that center base, by the way, but this time around Ryung sees it immediately. The next attack is very, very important for Serral, and yes, it does need to do something. But it's not like that previous attack didn't do anything, it absolutely did. And I think it could have done a tiny bit more, but I think Serral just showed a lot of respect to that triple drop. This is indeed a big moment for the great Jonas Setala. We need to be careful. No, we cannot go full Reynor. Out of all the things we could have done with our Vipers, that is not the play. Very uncharacteristic for Serral, who does still blow up that planetary on the left side. But that is not the value that we were looking for out of the Vipers. Minus 25 SCVs regardless. We get a couple of the tanks. We get the 4th base. But aye. Well, you guys can clip that. Oh, corrosive balls though. Those do connect. I mean, even after losing the Vipers the way we did, I think this was successful. This was good. But it should have been a little bit better. That is not something you see very often. It's good to see that even Serral is a human. Big Zergling run by. Zerglings are going to slap. We have Adrenal Glands as well, as Ultras are going to get on top of the Marines and tanks here. And this is going to be okay. These tanks will die. Banelings unfortunately don't quite connect. But the Zerglings in the natural are dancing. Ryung still has a couple of units in the bottom right side. But I don't believe they will ever accomplish as much as all these Zerglings do. Serral once more goes full Reynor, but this time in the most positive sense. Zerglings across 3 different bases. We're taking out a lot of SCVs. Might even get the eBay. No. Well, if he doesn't repair it, guys. Uh-oh, if he doesn't repair it, he's going to lose +3. Ryung, the SCV. Oh, saves it. 18 SCV. 18 hit points left. We are fine here. It is always a tiny bit scary when you see a Zerg on 75 drones and we don't have a piggy bank and we're not quite maxed out yet. And since there are no ghosts and there are no liberators, I'm feeling very good about this. But Serral still definitely needs to be a tiny bit careful. We cannot have a disastrous attack. We have Burrow finishing up as well. Let's go ahead and abduct those Banshees, yeah. And enough of them, guys. Those Banshees gotta go. One Viking is gonna get a couple shots off, but a parasitic bomb is gonna take care of that low HP Viking. Serral's still looking for openings. Those stims, by the way, you look at those medevacs, man. They've been working overtime. There aren't that many medevacs remaining. And Ryung is having a hard time establishing that 4th base. And Serral is going to give himself another attack path. And most of the stuff in the natural is gone. It's looking very good, and these could very well be the closing moments here on Ghost River. Ultras with +3 armor and kindness plating, a blinding cloud as banelings roll forward. We've got Lings and Ultras in the main base. Look at these tanky boys, guys. Look at them boys go. They just don't die. They will not die against these bio units. GG gets called. Serral takes us in the driver's seat and puts us up 2-1 in this clan war over Ryung. Game 2 will be played on US Central. So game 2 is played on a better server for Serral. But obviously Ryung has map choice once more. I guess he's gonna go Dynasty. Crimson Court, okay. Alright, yeah, that's fair. I believe that Maru had over 1,000, right? ELO. He might lose a couple points. It pays to go full Reynor. Of course, there's only one. Our Katowice champ, our Game SA champ, our back-to-back Home Story Cup champ. There is only one. Yeah, Ryung picks Crimson Court. Whoa, those guns, by the way. Woo! Ryung! That man's been lifting, baby. Man, he looks jacked. He's trying to intimidate Showtime over here. It's like, man, you're not playing Showtime, you're playing Serral. I do not believe that big arms will help you defeat me. I agree, Yona. I agree. This might even slow you down. Speed pace. Crimson Court in the bottom left side. We're taking a look at the main base of the man that's fighting for Vitality. That was Ryung. And in the top right side, putting us up 2-1 in this clan war. A very important clan war deep into the regular season of the WTL Code S. It is the great Yona Sotala, aka Serral. It is very fun to see Serral play some games again. I've obviously followed Serral for a long time, and there have been many moments where we don't get to see him that much because Serral likes to just practice either on the ladder or in custom games, and there are some periods where you don't really get to see many Serral games. But especially this year, I feel like I've seen so little of him. But then whenever we do see him, it just looks insanely freaking good. Katowice, fantastic. Dallas, next level. And obviously in the WTL, he has not made any mistakes so far. This is the 6th map that Serral is playing. And that means that he still has a 100% win record. He is 5-0 currently in maps. This is the 6th map. By the way, now that I come to think of it, I think that Reynor, by the way, guys, was just responsible for the first map loss of Maru throughout the entire season. Maru has been an absolute stud so far in this season of the WTL Code S. And I believe that he was 14-0 in maps. Or even 16-0. And Reynor beating Maru was the first map loss of Maru throughout this entire season of WTL Code S. I will double check those stats. 16-0 says Wikipedia, yeah. That means that he's now 17-1. So Reynor, it pays to go full Reynor, guys. The first man to make Maru bleed and prevent the perfect season. Serral is still undefeated, 5-0 at the moment, but obviously he was not always available since he is currently busy fulfilling his mandatory military service in Finland, and that's why we see a bit less of him. Another opening with Zergling Speed coming out of Serral. As Ryung is going to show us soon. But he has planned for Crimson Court. Crimson Court obviously a very good map to play a marine tank. A lot of great tank spots in the center of the map. High ground, low ground, behind mineral patches, around the corner. Corners are very often the best friend of Terran players when they play against Lynx and Banks. Against Roaches likewise. It's also a decent map to play mech. We've seen Gumio play some very strong mech on this map. And Aquaron recently as well against Iba. I did not know that, Arno. Yes, the Esports World Cup will be played on this map pool. I would be incredibly surprised if they suddenly hit us with a patch and give us brand new maps. It would honestly be kind of cool if they would swap out, let's say like 1 or 2 maps and give us 2 awesome, well-balanced, competitive maps in return, but I think at this point it's too late. Tournament starts in 3 weeks. Players are obviously already doing their absolute best to get ready. I think it's too late right now. Would have been cool to get like a special Saudi themed map, a lot of sand, call it Riyadh City. Like, that would have been cool if it was. I mean, we have so many great map makers in the scene. This is something that maybe ESL could have thought of. Yeah, too late. I'm afraid it's too late, but it would have been sick. Circling speed is done for Serral as he's gone up to 3 bases, taking that 3 o'clock base. Overlord takes a little peek into the main base of Ryung. Sees what he needs to see. So far, guys, nothing truly stands out here from Ryung's side. It's not really something that is exclusive to Crimson Court or shows us why he likes this map more than Dynasty. The players were treated incredibly well last year, Young All-Star, at Game as 8. And I expect everything to be the same, if not even better. Somehow, Twitch did not give me any new snoozes. How about treatment of the casters? Amazing. I cannot say anything else, mate. Got picked up, got driven to the hotel. Hotel was fantastic. The food was amazing from the very first day of rehearsals until the day we would come home. 0 complaints. I expected that, and I know that you could kind of expect that because events in the Middle East, I think, are known for that, whether it's Dubai or Abu Dhabi or Saudi Arabia in this case. And Kalaras went to Game as 8 in previous years, and he already told us that it's going to be amazing in that regard. I would love that G1. I think it is too late. Damn it, guys. I am afraid that in 4 minutes there will be some ads on the channel, and there's nothing I can do about it because I cannot snooze them. Because we snoozed it 3 times in that previous hour. They did not give me a recharge. So, unless this game ends in 4 minutes, some of you guys will see ads in the middle of the game. That's incredibly frustrating. But I cannot disable that. And this game is not going to end in 4 minutes. I can guarantee you that. Obviously, if you have Twitch Turbo or you're a sub, you don't get any ads. But yeah, I have tried to stay on top of that. But yeah, there's just nothing I can do in this regard. I mean, I could do it now, but that would still tilt people. I could do it now. If you guys think now is better than in 4 minutes, we can do that. But don't tilt. Now is better. Alright, fine. Now it is. Not everybody will get it. It is done. Hmm. 7 minutes, guys, into Crimson Court as Hive Tech is on the way for the great Iona Sutala. We are supply blocked. It is obviously not a massive one. It very rarely is when we are watching Serral, but... Obviously, not all of you guys will get them. A lot of countries, they don't sell ads, or maybe you've had some ads before, then you won't get it. But definitely some people just did. I apologize for it, guys. Normally, you can postpone them 3 times, but we already did that last hour. And I thought I would get another charge, but I did not. No ads. I'm glad. I'm glad that a lot of you guys did not get them. Hive is done. First Vipers on the way at Ryung. It's been a very passive game so far, hey guys, on Crimson Court. No ads in Germany. That's bad though. Germany is rich. They should be able to sell some ads there. And Germany is my 2nd biggest market, believe it or not. All the jokes about the Second World War and their mediocre football team, and the Germans, they still love Roddy. I only have more American viewers than I have German viewers. USA, obviously. We love the stars and stripes. Ryung is thinking of a move out. We have barely battled in this game. We've obviously flirted as the tanks do get a couple of big shots off. 18 banglings are morphing. I don't know if all the rocks have been taken care of. Oh, those bio units are stuck on creep. Serral. His banglings find monstrous connections there. Whatever Ryung had in mind, guys, I can guarantee you that this is not it. He has even followed the Reddit advice of a Raven with his army to push back creep a little bit easier, but all those bio units were so incredibly clumped up on creep. You cannot do that against Serral. If Serral sees an opportunity with his banelings, he's gonna connect. There is still plenty of bio left though. Viper's coming in from the right side. Let's see if we can go full Reynor in the most positive way this time. We drop a blinding cloud, a second blinding cloud. We lose one. Well, I'll take it. Does that allow the banelings to connect? Yes, those are pretty good connections. Sure, still some bio units remaining, but in the end there is enough swarm here. The roaches, the ravages, the queenslings and banes are going to successfully push Ryung back. And as Ryung is just pumping out units, I assume this was 8 barracks in total, and this is not good enough. The 8 racks never truly gets going. Serral doesn't just push him back, Serral smashes. Seems like 4 minutes was better. Perhaps waiting 4 minutes was better, as Ryung decided to absolutely send it, but Serral, his banging connections were phenomenal. Means that we are now up 3-1, guys, and there's only one best of 2 remaining. Will we go to an ace match today, or are we gonna end it right here, right now? I can show you guys the highlights, no worries. There is a way that I can show you guys the highlights there. Serral 2-0 was a complete prediction. Let me just start the next prediction, I'll show you guys the highlights. For the few people, I don't think it was too many, but for the few people who missed it, I'll take care of it. Obviously, the games will always be posted to YouTube as well. 10 minutes for our final prediction. My WTL admin is just casually calling me because he wants to show off a football stadium. I think he's watching a football match, but I was like, mate, we're kind of watching the WTL Code S here. So let's go over these final moments one more time of Crimson Court for any of y'all that missed it. Why is this here? This is frustrating. So we are just gearing up for the big 3-base attack. 8 minutes into Crimson Court. Scan goes down. First big moment happens right around here. As Ryung throws down a scan and he's like, alright, I'm here, I have a lot. Serral disengages. And now all these units are kind of exposed here. Serral sees it. And you don't need to give Serral a second opportunity. He turns around immediately, finds excellent connections, gets a tank as well, retreats. At this point, a little bit of battling, scan goes down, anti-armor missile. Ryung is pushing, Viper's coming from the bottom right, blinding cloud. And here come all the roaches, the links, banelings, the connections is really good. Serral once more completely pushes back the opening, and with the way that Ryung played it, 3 base all in, no 4th base, no Ghost Academy, no libs, nothing. He was obviously supposed to find all sorts of momentum, and he couldn't do it, and that was the end, immediately, just like that. Yona's an animal, guys. We are not there yet, but it is looking good. We just need one map win coming out of D-Mauer. It is not easy, obviously. Solar is incredibly good. Seems like the F1 race has ended. I'll definitely watch it back later. Once these games are over, Starcraft 2 will be done on this channel for today, but I will, however, stay live. I am going to do an F1 race with my friends. Full race, Hungary, a lot of lappies. I'm very bad at Hungary, but that is what we will be doing on this channel as soon as the Starcraft 2 games are over. I normally, as a neutral spectator, I always hope for an ace match. I don't want an ace match. Don't ruin the race, please. I didn't ruin the race. I mean, people are talking about it in my chat, mate. I cannot control what the internet does. I will watch the actual race back at the end of my day. I'm gonna do some online racing, and then I'll watch it back on the TV late tonight. Maybe with a nice glass of wine to celebrate the victory of Basilisk. Yeah, we are not there yet. I know that a lot of you guys are probably hoping for an ace match. It would be exciting, but it's not what I want. Just one map win showtime. One map win is all we need.